Greetings and salutations. It is Saturday, June 13th, and this is what I have made over the past 7 days. So again, I'm going to do one video for everything. Mostly travel journals, a couple of Coptic stitch, and one notebook that's just using up a lot of offcut paper from one of the other projects that I did. So even the little bitty ones I'm pairing a pin holder with, just because I have more pin holders than I have journals. But I have to make, if I'm going to keep my theme of matching the pin holder to the journal itself, I may have to disregard the colors of the pin holders that I have left because they're mostly purple. So this is very simple. It's just a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and I put the writing board on the 3-hole pamphlet stitch on the cover because there's not many pages in this one. And this is basically paper that I treated with waste ink just to get the colors and patterns on it. And this cover is something that I also treated with waste ink to get the colors and patterns on it. But because of the mica powder being free and roaming the world, I have sealed both sides, the inside and the outside, with Mod Podge so that it won't stain your hands or anything like that. So the closure is very simple. It just, hold on. It tucks up under here. It's not supposed to go in the paper clip. It tucks up under here just like that. But the writing board is there, and there's only a few pages because I only had a few pages of cutoffs from this particular project, so that match the color and whatnot. But 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So this one is just a very small notebook. That's just cute to look at. This is my first foray back into Coptic stitch binding after a long time. Just a crocheted cord that's left over from something else that didn't have enough thread to match it for this one. This is just, I think it's 3x5 or something similar. It does have a writing board. The paper, I think the paper is a mixture of Daiso copy paper and one of the other white papers, maybe one of the Midori papers. I don't know. The paper is a mixture of that, but there are 10 signatures, 5 sheets per signature, or so 10 sheets per signature, so 100 pages on this little bitty journal. The cover is, again, me using up the thin strips of washi paper, washi tape, and some leftovers that only had just a little bit left on them of bigger tapes and whatnot. So there's your front cover, inside front cover, back cover, inside back cover. I just put the most embellishments on here. And you can see that some of these washi tapes you've seen in other projects, so you know what they're left over from. This one also has a writing board, and the paper is fairly thin, but thicker than Hanshi paper for sure. Okay, now, as I mentioned, I had not done Coptic stitch binding for a while, so you can already see some of the growing pains and me remembering how to do it and getting a rhythm for it. I think I skipped a stitch here, and here and here, the stitching is kind of is in my opinion, is too loose. So you can kind of see that. So I probably will discount this one when I put it on the table. But it's still a nice little journal. It's got the pin clip, portable pin clip. And I may change I chose this cord to tie it because I felt like it had the same mix of colors as the cover, but I'm not liking how it looks right now. I think I want something with more beige tones. So I am probably going to change the tie that goes with this one, but I'll do that later. It's not a big deal. It's just it doesn't match as well as I thought it would when I first put it on there. So I'll probably be changing the tie for that one. This is my second return to Coptic stitch binding, and it went much better than the first one. And I wanted to do the first one on a smaller book that would be sold for cheaper anyway. The tie for this one is, of course, crocheted. I think it's 3 or 4 strands of crocheted yarn. I made a new book clip for this one because I didn't have anything that matched the pink and the green. And I still have a lot of green and as I mentioned before, the pink hearts and the yellow suns washi tape the thin strips of washi tape that I still want to use up. So as you can see, this one came out really well. I did not bind the cover. into the Coptic stitch binding. I love Coptic stitch binding. It is my absolute favorite way of binding a book, but or my absolute favorite way of having a book bound, not necessarily doing it. But it doesn't take it. It's not as bothersome as you might think. It does require a lot of remembering a lot of nitnoid details, but it came out very, very well. At least you can see how even the stitching is and whatnot. So for this one, since I was not going to try to stitch through the fabric on this cover, the inside is just the heavy cardstock that I use for the covers of some of the pamphlets that I got from my dad's Meals on Wheels boxes. So that is the inside cover on both of them. So what I did for this one was I bound an extra fold of this heavy cardboard, one-ply cardboard, and then I glued that one-stock cardboard to the cover. So the end sheet on this one, you can see a little bit of it where the size doesn't quite match where you've got a little bit of a ridge there. So I glued this to the cover, so that's how it is. I thought about decorating this with some of my map papers or some of the other papers, but I did not want to go through the hassle of trying to get it to fit just right and covering the thread and whatnot. So I put stickers on it instead. So you've got stickers on the inside and a big Taperology sticker on the back side, and it's not heavy cardstock, but heavier than 20-pound paper. I think this is because real cardstock is like a 64-pound or 60-pound or something like that. This, I think, is 60-pound. It's lighter. You can see it's lighter than regular cardstock. But I put every signature, I put a sheet of slightly heavier paper on before I bound it. And I put inside the copy paper, the graph copy paper that I just copied, so that you have lines on every sheet. It's just graph paper. I think this is too dark, that it obscures what you're writing too much. So I'm not going to make any more of this. I have a very much paler copy template that I can use, or graph paper template that I can use. And I think that I'm going to use that one for any future graph paper things that I do if I use copy paper. I have a lot of paper that I bought that I need to use up before I start making more paper and before I start making more journals with the paper that I recycled. So that is this one. And again, this is 10 signatures and 10 sheets per signature, 5 folded pages, 10 sheets per signature, so 100 pages in this one as well. And again, like I said, for the pamphlets, aside from the little one that just had the special paper in it, or the special tinted paper in it, my goal is to keep all the pamphlet style journals to have at least 30 sheets and all the bigger journals to have at least 100 sheets. And I think I am, this showing here is not that difficult to do that. And the travel journals are easy because I'm not even binding those. So that's that. So I think this is the stickers on the back cover. Again, Taperology. I love their massive stickers. And this is fabric. And so this is my foray into using fabric for the covers. And this one came out all right. But it was, I did not have a very good plan for binding the fabric on the inside. You can see a little bit of, I meant to cover that up, but you can actually see a little bit of the tape that I was trying to use to keep the fabric under control while I was trying to figure out how I was going to attach it to the cover. So it's not glued down. It's just glued to the back. So the front is not glued down. So it really is, it feels like fabric. It looks like fabric. It is very much fabric, and there's nothing to take away from that impression. So yeah, really like how this one came out in terms of the Coptic stitch binding. So I am going to be doing more Coptic stitch binding as a result. I've got 2 more sets, one big full-size A5 journal and one A6 size journal that are over there in the box waiting for me to set aside the time to actually bind them into a book, and then I'll show those probably next week's video. Okay, so all that's left is just these 4 travel journals. Again, the papyrus method of using up my strips of paper that were cut for one reason or another. This one is the papyrus effect is just really interesting. You'll see more of it in a couple of the other journals. And is that glue? Oh no, it was just the way I wrapped it. Okay. Because I wrapped it weird. Oh, okay. It is kind of sticking in. Did I tie it too tight? It is kind of sticking to it. I'll take another look at that and see if I need to maybe put a strip of tape around where the binding is going to go, or because I don't think I need another coat of sealant. It's pretty sturdy by where it is. Or maybe I do. Okay, so this is what I usually try to avoid when I seal the insides with, and that's tearing. Well, it's good to know now as opposed to later. So I need to find a different method to seal these, because I did not get this one with antique because I was thinking the satin binding was going to be enough. But this is telling me that that is not the case. And I thought I did this one with antique, but I guess not, because if I had done it with antique Mod Podge, the antique Mod Podge has a non-sticky, non-glossy surface. So when I seal things with antique Mod Podge, this does not happen. So I must have done a coat of hard coat and thought that was sufficient, but it was not. So I will be repairing this one and still putting it out there, because that's not enough to make it, unsalvageable. It's very, very salvageable, because that's easy to fix, actually. I just take this off and reseal this with something that I know won't stick over time. But my main concern is not the journal sticking to itself. My main concern is a journal sticking to the paper. And as you can see, that is not happening. Well, I heard a little bit of something sticky there. So, yeah, I may have to disassemble and reseal this one. But this is, again, the papyrus method. So strips underneath, between these two layers, on the top layers of both sides, I put just specialty paper of different colors, pink, green, that I had left over as offcuts from some other project that I don't even remember what it was, because I've had these offcuts for a while. And then I just, chose blues, purples, and I'm running low on the different colors of cardstock, so they're all going to be green from here on out, I think. I have a little bit of blue left. So you've got the particularly colorful offcuts are on the top of both sides. And inside of that, I think I started with one sheet of tissue paper just to keep things more stable, and so I didn't have to use up as much glue to put them together. So I will repair these things and reseal it. And I'm not going to bother putting it back in another video, because you can pretty much see everything. And all the same thing, travel journals, braided yarn for the ties, for the binding. I am contemplating going back through all the travel journals and just putting a quick 3-hole pamphlet stitch on all of these, just because I cannot anticipate how people are going to use them, and it may be more bothersome to use them with them falling apart every time you take them out to write on something and trying to put the paper back in. So I am contemplating whether or not I go through all of my travel journals and make all of these inserts a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. If you have any ideas on that, then just put something in the comments and let me know what you think would be best. So that is this one, and I will repair that. So I'll put this one to the side. And this one, actually, I finished last night. Again, another papyrus method one. And crocheted yarn for the tie, crocheted yarn for the binding. And as you can see, no sticking on this one. Because I know I put antique on the top cover of this one. I think I put in, well, I am fairly positive. I am losing all kind of trust in my memory of late. But as you can see, offcuts of notebook paper that I used in some of the previous travel journals that I've made, covered the edge with washi tape. This pin holder does not match this at all. So I may make another one that just matches the theme of paler colors or bright neon colors or whatnot. If I think about it, and if I want to put time to that, I could actually make a pin holder with this tape right here. But I want to keep as much of my wide washi tape on hand as possible. So I don't want to necessarily use it up for something like that, because that is the only thing wide enough to do these edges like this. So this I contemplated over and over, going over this and doing something different with the outside cover, because originally I was going to have this be the outside cover, but because I have other stuff besides just the neon, I decided it looked better on the inside. And when I sealed this one, it curled, and I couldn't get it to curl the other direction, so I decided, well, I guess that's going to be the outside cover. But I decided to leave it plain, because I just like the quirkiness of the pattern that emerged when I was doing the papyrus method of gluing the sheets together. So I decided to leave this as the outside cover. All the travel journals have the same template. 60 sheets per signature, 12 pockets or 6 pockets per signature. So you got 12, 6 pockets per signature, 12 pockets per book, and 120 sheets per book lengthwise. And then for these, I am still trying to figure out the best way of using up this yarn, because I am not going back into Daiso until I absolutely have to, because I need to get out of debt. So this time I ran one length through the inside of the book, and then the tie is on the outside of the book. That way you can use this to pull the strings and adjust the tension. There are a couple that did not have enough string to do that with, and I think I'm going to go back through and rebind those. And if I go through and make everything a 3-hole pamphlet stitch that's inserted, then I'm going to rebind those anyway. And I may even, if I decide I want to use up all my bought paper so I can switch faster to my made paper, I may even offer extra inserts for these when I sell them at the fair. Craft fair, Alamo Ranch, Hill Country Retreat, Del Webb Community, Annual Craft Fair, this October 16th, 17th, and 18th. So if you're in San Antonio, be on the lookout for that. Oh, wait a second. Oh, I know what I did. This closure goes to the one that I got to, no, this closure goes to this one. This closure goes to the one I got to fix. So that's what went wrong there. So let me tie this back. And I think I'm getting closer to having the right length, to knowing how many stitches I need to do for these to be the right length, so that people can stuff stuff in them and they can be bigger or swell or whatever happens when people actually use their journals. So this one is a very, very curious edition of the papyrus method, because I'm using, as you can see, the file folder treated to look like leather offcuts. And yeah, I'm going to go over this one with another coat of antique. Because I don't, if it's going to stick like that, that's not a problem. But if it tears like that one did, that is a problem. And again, it sticks to itself, but it doesn't stick to the paper. So that is my main concern when I seal them. So for this one, well, I'll start with the outside. As you can see, offcuts from when I was embossing some. I might need to put some more on that. Looks like it's coming up. I'm going to put more sealer on it anyway to keep it from sticking to itself. But so offcuts of file folders on this side, and on the inside, I think I have just regular paper that I started with tissue paper again, just to give me a better surface on the inside. But I did not like the way the tissue paper looked, so I decorated it and used up more of my offcuts. So these are all offcuts from things that I used for die cuts when I was die cutting something for other projects, or when I was die cutting these circles, the squares, the stars, and whatnot. So I tried to use up as many of my die cuts as I could on this one, and I just decorated the inside cover and then just sealed it in with glue. I didn't seal it with the Mod Podge, I just sealed it with glue. So I'm going to go back over the inside with the antique Mod Podge, and then go back over the outside with the antique Mod Podge, put another coat, let it cure longer. One thing about Mod Podge is even though it's dry, it's still curing. So I have to remember sometimes that if I have as many coats on it as this one has, because this one has several coats, because it takes a lot to get this stuff to stick and lay flat, as you can see from that part that's trying to lift up, then I need to let it sit even after it's dry for a little bit longer to make sure it doesn't stick to itself or blend or merge with itself, because even though it's dry, it's still curing. So you see the outside, you see the inside, and because this one is designed, I just used some cat-themed washi tape that I had left over from one of the sample packs I received. As per usual, a writing board. And this is also one of the ones where the thread was too thin to do 2 loops through. So I may go back through, crochet some more thread, and do 2 loops so I can tie them on the outside. But if I do the 3-hole pamphlet stitch, this may be sufficient as well. But I want to give people the option to be able to adjust the tension when they're refilling it, or using the books, or whatever things they want to do. Because I know that some people paste stuff into their journals and they get really, really fat. I am using a glue book for the first time. And it started out that wide, and it's already like here. So maybe I'll show that one time, just to give people an idea of other things you can do with journals besides write in them, if you're so inclined. So this is also one of the file folders treated to look like leather. This may be the last of this particular shade of green that I had, but I think I have some more being drying, actually. But I don't remember them coming out this bright shade of green. I think most of the rest are very dark or a deep green or something like that. So outside, again, leather treated file folders. And I really, really like how the texture on this one came out, so I'm showing it a little bit closer. And yes, this is a file folder, a hanging file folder, treated to look like leather. And that process, if you are interested in it, I refer you to Treasure Book's YouTube channel for all the instructional videos, because I do not do instructional videos. So the inside is just another of those file folders. For these, to get these the right durability and the right strength, I glue 2 file folders together. The one that I put on the inside is the one with the least texture, usually. So the part with the most texture is the part that I put on the outside. And I really like, this is gorgeous washi tape. This was, I think, some of the specialty kimono washi tape that I got that is just absolutely gorgeous. Or it might be the Van Gogh washi tape. I'm not sure. But whatever it is, it's gorgeous. And I used it up when I was doing this one. This is just some regular washi tape that's thin, but not too thin. I think this is 15 millimeters. So you got, like 7 millimeters on each side or so. But it's too thin to try to do these edges with, because these edges, usually I'm trying to hold it together, give it a little bit extra to hold it together, and trying to cover the double stick tape as well. So everything else as per usual. This one is another one where I tied the inside, but this is there's so much little left afterwards that I kind of feel like maybe it needs to be longer, or I need to pull it tighter, get more tension on it. But if I do the 3-hole pamphlet stitch on all the travel journals, which I am leaning toward more and more the more I think about it, then the tension on these won't be as big a deal as it otherwise would be. So 12 pockets, 120 sheets, and a writing board on the inside. And this pin holder is another one that I made specifically for this journal, so that's why it matches so marvelously. So that is most of what I've been up to. Of course, these covers don't make themselves in 30 minutes or so, so it takes a couple days to put the layers together and let them dry and see if the colors are doing what I want them to do and what the texture is doing, and if they're sticking together like the one that I've got to repair. So as of June 13th, Saturday in the morning, that's what I've made for this past week. If you have any questions, leave a comment. And if you enjoyed, leave a comment. Thank you. Bye.